Hello, everyone. This is Janet Rangi, and thank you so much for joining me today. As you can see, the title today, we are going to talk about why people fall out of status and what can be done. Because sometimes you can have a problem but no solution, but the truth is there's a solution. But let's find out what happens and why it happens and see if we can change one or two people, change their mindsets so that they can have a better opportunity. And this is for those who are going to get a visa or those who already have a visa to come to the United States. As we all know, the student visas, which include the F1, F2, J1, J2, M1, and M2 visas, are now currently on hold worldwide. But we are waiting. This will be changed. I'm sure it's going to be changing very soon. Okay, so stay tuned for that. If they abolish them, we'll find out, which is very unlikely. But for now, let's just wait and see. But the other visas are ongoing, especially the visit visa, or some of you already have visas. And by the way, there are still students who are scheduled for appointments before this thing was put on hold. So there are some students who are still going to the embassy for appointments. It's just that they are not giving new appointments. So still we are going to have students get visas. Okay, but the appointments were put on hold, so they are not scheduling new appointments in those categories. But visiting visas, we are going on. Green cards, whether through lottery, marriages, and other kinds of green cards, those things are still going on to the best of my knowledge. So let's talk about when people come to America, and these ones we are talking about temporary visas. For those who don't know what a temporary visa, it just means that they gave you a visa to go to America, do what takes you, what took you there. When you finish, you're supposed to come back home. Okay, so that's what it means. You go there as a student. After graduation, you come back. Okay, you go there as a visitor, you come back. That's okay. Now we are on the same page. So what happens and why? Number one, I just want to let you know that it's lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge. And lack of knowledge does not mean that it's just lack of knowledge on the part of the person who has the visa. There's also lack of knowledge with the people who will surround this person. But let's focus on the individual. You got a visit visa, student visa to America. So the biggest reason is going to be lack of knowledge. For example, a visit visa. You left your country, you know that this is going to be an opportunity. So you have a mindset, which by the way, they know. So they screen you very well during your visit visa. You have to show that you have family ties, social ties, financial ties back home. So that's why they are strict, because they know most people, based on statistics, when they go to the United States, especially from the Sunshine Continent, they do not come back or they fall out of status. And not just a Sunshine Continent, you'll be surprised, it's worldwide. Many people in the United States are visa overstays. Okay, people who actually went to the embassy, they are processed the right way, they said the right things, they got the visa, but when they went to America, they did not follow the law. And in this case, I just mean that they did not go back home. Okay. So what do we mean by this? Especially when you come to America, usually they will give you something called an I-94 record. And that one tells you how long you're supposed to be in America. For example, on a visit visa, when you have 6 months, for many years, I'll be honest with you, 6 months went by very quick. But the lack of knowledge, most people did not think of, can I extend and borrow more time to network, to see, to sightsee, to share information, okay, to ask for more time off from my job, okay, to help me make decisions in regards to my family. That is a better way extending. So if you do not have the knowledge that you can actually extend a visit visa, it's going to be problematic. Okay. Now with Janet, of course, I told you, you can also change from a visit visa to a student visa. And a student visa, you can improve your career. You can change your career. Our most popular is changing your career to nursing. So eventually your green card is straightforward. You can change to other STEM courses, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. And by the way, those courses are plenty. Even forestry is under that. The most common is which one? Business analytics is also in that category. So do not assume that your course is not part of the STEM. If you want to know more STEM about STEM, go to the State Department and just type the word STEM, and you'll get a list of many courses. And you make sure you take one of those courses. After graduation, you will have 3 years of OPT, which I had rumors that they might take away that one. But these things are just temporary. Let's see. Me, I'm just giving you as for today what we know. Okay, so 3 years, that is a work permit anywhere in the United States. Those 3 years can give you a lot of time. Okay, so why do people now not choose these things, like changing status, like extending, right? Like maybe finding a cheaper school instead of going for a very expensive school which they cannot afford, like knowing something about how to get student loans, whether from private or whether from Empower, or having someone to co-sign for them so that they don't fall out of status. Lack of knowledge in the event that something happens, they are sick, they just don't disappear. They have to report. You have to report to the school DSO and say, guess what? I'm sick. And they will advise you on the way forward, right? But if you keep quiet, they're going to just report you and report your service number and say you are missing in school. Why? Because you did not communicate you're sick. Why? Because maybe your finances are tight. You did not go to talk to the business office so that you can strike a conversation, right? So finances is a big one, okay? That is another one. So let's just go quickly to finances. When you choose to become a student in the United States and you choose a very expensive school you cannot afford, obviously your chances of falling out of status are very high. Okay, some of you don't know that you can actually change from one school to another one, but most schools will frown because you can't use a school. They give you an I-20, you get your admission, and you get your visa to that school, and then you reach that school and then you abandon them. And then you go to another school that did not even do anything for you. Okay, but you have to do what you have to do. You have to talk to them nicely. So finances are a big thing, because that one will make you fall out of status. All right. So finances is a big one. When it comes to change of status, let's say you want to hire a lawyer. Let's say you want to hire an expert to help you. It costs money. Okay. USCIS, it costs money. Service fees, it costs money. Okay, so finances are a big deal why people fall out of status. So how can we change that? By having good information, by trying to apply for schools that are cheaper. Okay, schools that will give us the most social support from our fellow people from the Sunshine Continent. People who've been there, they know how things work. That is a good one also, right? Sorting more information, reading about how to pay for fees. It's not just about scholarships. You don't even know how to apply for scholarships. You probably don't even know there's something called graduate assistantship. You don't even know that maybe you can find some on-campus jobs, right? You don't even know that you can source for funding through Empower loans. There are some big private loans also that can give you a loan so long as you have a cosigner. So if you lack all these things, okay, my friends, you are more likely to fall out of status. Okay, now there's a big one that happens. And this big one, as I said, it could be lack of information on the individual who has the visa, or it can be lack of information with the people that surround him or her. So when you arrive in America, for example, you will meet people. What people know, the people that surround you, will really influence how you think. And as I've always said, in this generation, you are tech savvy. Okay, this generation has computers. They believe in information. They follow vloggers and bloggers. They read. Now information is everywhere. We don't expect young people to be out of status, quite honestly, because you should be informed. But don't assume, okay, that people that will bring you, will house you, or the people that you'll be meeting in church, or people that you'll see from your country know these things. They are more likely not to know. Not in a bad way, but they just don't know. Some of them went to America because they won the green card lottery. If you win a green card lottery, when you reach America, you have a work permit, right? You can get your driver's license. You just fit in, so you don't have the challenges. So if you find someone who comes with a student visa, someone who went on a green card, how can they advise someone on a student visa? How can they advise someone on a visit visa? They have not lived it. They have not researched it. Most of them will just say, okay, go watch Janet, which will be maybe the best advice. Some of them have watched some of us for many years, and now it has become common knowledge and they've shared in groups. You understand? But do not assume that everyone you meet will have this information. Okay, so that is a big one. The people you meet, they are not being bad, but probably they just don't know. Oh, they went there, okay, they came to America, okay, on a visit visa. And the easiest thing they could do was asylum. And they're going to recommend that because they're going to say, so why struggling? Don't you just need a work permit? Don't you just need to work? Okay. But they are not going to go with you step by step to tell you the pros and cons. And those pros and cons, you're going to find out 2 years down the road or 3 years down the road. And that's when you will realize. But there are some people, even when they find people who are being nice and they are telling them, hey, if I were you, I will do whatever it takes not to go into asylum. Probably they will resist. In life, we just like easy things. You understand? So it could be because of peer pressure. Peer pressure means everyone is doing it. So I might as well do it. I know many people who do not have papers, so I'm not going to care. And they are just doing well. No one is caring about them, so long as they are not breaking the law. Right? But we don't know that. We don't know how much stress they have. Can you imagine if you have no papers, your life driving, you're probably always fearing that a policeman will stop you. Yes, good thing for many years, even if the police stopped you, they might not ask for your papers. But with this current administration, they are more likely to ask for your papers. So who wants that kind of stress? You understand? So I don't think it's quality of life. So, but having said that, there are those without papers. I feel like that is the worst case scenario. At least the person who is on asylum, although they are stuck there in bondage, but at least they have papers to go to work. Case in point, we had some people who did not have papers, but some states allow them to go to school and they got their nursing degrees, and now Canada is welcoming them. You understand? So now they can just go to Canada, forget that they never had papers in America, and start a new life and start moving around the world and going back home. So there's, you know, not having anything to me is the worst. First of all, you don't have anything, you don't have papers to show. So if you leave, you can't even come in. But at least if you have papers, even if it's through asylum, you understand? At least you can work, you can go to school, you can do all these things. But you cannot travel back home. If you do, you're gonna have a very hard time coming back in because they're gonna think like, okay, you left because things have resolved. You see what I mean? So you see lack of knowledge on the part of the person with the visa, lack of knowledge with the people they meet, finances, peer pressure, and just the big picture of opportunities. People think, you know what, I came to America for this opportunity. I'm not going to leave again. That is why people overstay their visas. Okay. Now, how can we change this? It looks like we already know the problem. We already know the solution. Just change your mindset. Normally, these problems happen to people who do not have dreams and desires. Okay. If you have a dream and desire, you are probably going to calculate every move. You will be like, you know what? I thank God. At least they have this change of status. So even if it's expensive, which it's not, it's just in our head, we have to change our mindset. At least I'm setting myself for success in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years or 10 years, right? You have to change your mindset. It's about mindset. And the mindset is not easy because mindset has to do with money. You understand? I remember there's a time when I started working, if someone told me, okay, for you to do this thing here, it's going to cost you $50. Oh my God. If I go to the mall and something costs $90, I will not buy it. Okay, which was a good thing for me because it gave me a good foundation. So spending money is not an easy thing, especially if it's something that we feel maybe you can do without, which most of the time is the most important thing to do. Okay, let me tell you in summary, honestly, the best thing you can ever do for yourself when you go to America, okay, make sure that the first thing you take care of is your immigration status. Take care of your immigration status. How? Look at something we call the I-94 record. They don't have to stamp it in your passport. Those were gone days. Now it's on the computer. You just need your biometric or biographic data on your passport. You enter that on the website. Just go under I-94, find that website, put in the details, and you will see when you are admitted into the country and when you're expected to leave. Visit visa mostly 6 months. Okay, 6 months. But there are some people who say, I left and I didn't even finish my 6 months. I actually stayed for only 5.5. And then when I came to the port of entry, they were asking me so many questions, Janet, but I thought they gave me 6 months. True, they gave you 6 months. But any reasonable person will think that, you only came for a conference. Right. Okay. The conference was 3 days. Fine. We gave you 6 months. Fine. Well, you were just here 4 weeks ago. Now you are back again after staying 5.5. At that point, they become suspicious. Any reasonable person will ask you, so why are you back? This is a visit visa. You are here for 5 months. Now you are back again. It's a reasonable question to ask. They are not saying that you've broken the law. So you have to think in those lines. I'm thinking someone like that, probably they were so busy, they had so many places to go. Maybe their family fell sick, they were supposed to be helping and, visiting with them. And then they felt like it was time to go, but maybe the family member is still sick, or maybe they did not finish their trip to another new place with the family. So you just give a good reason why you're back. So they're not challenging you that you've broken the law. It just makes sense. I always tell people, just make sense. Just make sense in everything you say. Okay? Be reasonable. Basically, do not overstay your visa. Janet Rangi 67@gmail.com. If you need any more information about this, and if you need more resources, we are here to guide you. Okay? Janet Rangi 67@gmail.com. And good luck, guys. In this day and age, we are not going to overstay our visas. We are going to make sure, okay, we take care of our finances. We look ahead. We plan ahead. We inform ourselves, put ourselves together, have good knowledge. Understand that the people that will surround us, our hosts, our families, our friends, our peers, might not have the right information. Therefore, you just have to keep on educating yourself and having the right information, the right knowledge, take care of the finances. Okay? Above all, change your mindset. Okay? Invest in yourself the first few months so that those few months can take care of you for life. Student visa, you can stay as long as you're in school. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming. I will see you in the next video. Okay? Thank you so much and bye-bye, guys. Thank you.